Hi, yo. This is RT, TI in New York City. I'm over here with Raw Truth 7. And we're going to just recap what we pretty much did last night because apparently we got first neck of the woods. But apparently these fools like to linger in front of my building and and actually hack into my OBS software, remotely from downstairs, shit like that. But they like to linger in front of my building, from what I noticed. So now I know that, and now that they know that I know that, I start to pull their asses. Hoping that they do it, so I can have the pleasure of doing what I plan on. I already figured out more or less what they've been doing and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So I try to figure out ways around, how it goes. You circumvent things, you go around the shit they do with it back and forth. Anything that these little things like to play, you know what I'm saying? So we gotta you can't of getting over on you in space, which is frustrating you and stay silent. And it's legal. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Contrary. In any case, with that being said, 127 and I think that I put him up on and gave a great, review on the top of his head freestyle, yesterday, but these, they just did the quality. The source of it is the candy he heard. And if you wasn't the you the proper people can't understand what you're trying to say or trying to put out there, document nature, you know what I mean? That over again. Yeah. What's that, taking it away. It can be mostly about just we got summary that Road Trip 7 wasn't going to again. I like Road Trip 7 taught me like recently yesterday and today. I want to choose to get away. Again, like art galleries was interesting enough. But I found it very interesting in the movie. It showed similarities that all target individuals go through. So trigger warning. There is a trigger. This movie will trigger you by targeting an individual, unless if you're a new TI or even certain things that are certain stimuli that might cause your psyche to be out of balance. And just giving you a warning. I had to watch the movie, pause it a few times, and then go do something else. Watch a show or something because it got intense. Because there's a lot of parts in the movie where it seemed like, when he was getting targeted, I showed those same parts, but they added in violence. I mean, those guns with it, and it put me in that mode of what if it could be like that for me? And I was like, I don't want to think about that kind of stuff. But anyways, it shared a lot of common similarities that target individuals did, as far as, you feel like you're being watched everywhere. They make a fake profile on you and say you're this, that, and the other, from being a sex offender to a drug dealer to some of these mentally incapacitated, just can't think for themselves, violent, they'll make fake profiles on those, and give it to these ordinary citizens like Citizen Forbes, Neighborhood Watch, and these people go out and take pictures of beautiful property, even to the point where you don't feel like your home is home anymore. And then on top of that, they won't even tell you, just say you're crazy and get you misleading. On me roll. Yeah. Sorry about that, man. Sorry about the interruption. Just need to let you know something, because I think they're starting to do it again remotely. And if you don't mind, try to see if you could disengage the earbuds, and if you can't talk through a loudspeaker, see if that changes the audible settings from your end, at least to see if it sounds any better. Yeah, that's what I'm just on the phone. I get stuff on the phone. Just now. Sound better? That sound better? Yeah. Hold on.
Do it again?
Do it again? Can you hear me now? Sound better? Perfect. Yeah, I'm just talking directly through the phone now. No earphones. Alright, so take it away?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Okay. And a lot of target individuals go through the things that are in that movie, to gaslighting, to being followed, and to knowing your location, to certain little events happening, like breaking in the apartment and moving stuff around without even taking anything. And I shared a lot in common with this, where it got really hit close to home. I mean, it even showed it to the point where he had a best friend in the movie, and he was part of it the entire time for 15 years, and he never knew, and he never told him, and it felt like he was out of the loop, like yo, everyone knows about it, but no one can talk about it, you know what I mean? And they would always correspond with each other through via cell phone or secret code names that they would use, like the Hungry, to notify each other if they're part of the organization. They would always say the Hungry Rabbit jumps, and one of the things I noticed about the movie was, like, why they created the program. They created the program because they were getting sick of New Orleans City turning into crap. People are just doing nothing but drinking, debauchery, adultery, eating themselves to death, and then while the good people sit back and do nothing, And so they created this program, and it's almost similar to like what Neighborhood Watch is, and how they follow you and want to get things better for them, but when it comes to you, they don't care. Even if you didn't do anything wrong, as long as they got that profile that says that you did something, and they can't share it with anyone else. That's how their little nugget is. They make money off of that. But if they operated similarly in that movie, just like Neighborhood Watch, but they took it to an aggressive, very aggressive style of doing things and motives. But another thing I noticed about this movie is that these people, they had good intentions to make society better, but as time went by, they built an egotistical, sociopathic, narcissistic complex about them, where they get to decide who lives, who dies, who's fit for society, and who isn't. That very much bothered me, because we all can share in that category, because we know we're not. A lot of us are not desirables or whistleblowers, and they want us as society because it will get rid of their program that they have for them. So they're deciding whether or not to keep us in society or not. That's why they put us on this blacklist. So, RT, is there any other points I missed that I could be adding on?
Yeah, personally, I think there's a few points. Remember, I know you're trying to recall as much as you possibly can right now, and it's not easy to try to remember the verbatim, word for word, what you had said. I'm definitely not expecting that. But I think you covered, for the most part, a good chunk of what, resonated with you. What I wanted to ask you in regards to that, man, I wanted to ask you, what was it that you saw and heard that made you feel the way you did it? You said, man, I'm going to pause it for a second, man, because it's affecting me. And I wanted you to tell what you said on the last call to other future recently awoken TIs that may decide to peep this movie, as far as the disclaimer that I didn't do, because you came out and you said it on the call, being that they distorted the call. Now that it's clear, I want it to be, shown by who it is that said it and set it off, which was you, for reminding me with that. And I'd like for you to do that now, if you don't mind, man. Multiple things, tell other TIs, you know what I mean? Multiple things that set me off. Just in general, like, motifs being followed a lot more, or breaking into, when they broke into his house and they messed with the letters on his refrigerator, but didn't steal anything in the house, didn't hurt his girlfriend, and his girlfriend was still in the house walking around. That bothered me, because how many times have that probably happened to me? And this has happened to me actually before, where people broke into my room, moved change and moved my plate and all my clothes off to the side of the closet. And do you remember me telling you that before, Archie? They broke into my house and did all that, but it's just in that one room. No one else has a key to it. Just me and my roommate did, and he wasn't home. He was working a double, I think. But yeah, that triggered me, and it was bad, man. Also, was the fake profile thing, because that's the most common one that they do, when there's, they end in neighborhood watch, or citizens courts, or COPS, whatever it is, and they're just unusual people who would follow you, and other things that really disturbed me was people he knew, and they never told him that they were part of this program. He knew a friend in the movie, one of his best friends in the movie, named Jimmy. He knew him for a long time, and he said he's been part of it for 15 years. And he chose Simon's side, which was the bad guy that was part of the secret organization, over his own best friend, just to keep the city safe. It disturbs me, because it's just everything in the whole nutshell. I just could not believe, we share so much of this, from the profiles to our friends betraying us, to, them breaking in our house, moving stuff around while we're not home, because that's what we go through, and people just following us randomly. I found it very weird, too, that one of the people who wrote the movie, he opened up art galleries, so he also has a hand in the dark art, so he has a perverted, sense of nature, being in the Hollywood industry, of the entertainment industry of filmmaking, So I wanted to point that out, and I think his name was Robert something. Inman. I'm gonna have to look it up again. Let me look it up. Before going further with that, I just want to put the disclaimer out. I guess Rochu didn't understand what I was saying. It's all good. I'll do it, man. Something I forgot to do, Rochu Southern has said last night, but being that these fools distorted the call, he couldn't come out, so we're going to do it tonight correctly on this call right here. And that is, for any recently awoken TIs that may come across this film, understand that there may be triggers and anchors within this movie that may trigger you. So it's not because we're trying to trigger you. It's not our desired effect to trigger any genuine fellow EI/TI out there. That's why we're saying, and we're setting off this disclaimer right now, to keep in mind that these movies like this have triggers in them. So watch it at your own risk and at your own pace. If you need to take a break, the way Raw True 7 did, do that. Pause it, meditate, listen to music, go for a walk, come back to it later when your mind is refreshed and ready to go and watch it again. You know what I mean? And these things are traumatizing. This is what they do to us within this program through the psychological operations section of this program. Part of what they deploy, part of what they need for us to be in and under, which is a traumatic event. Because a traumatic event makes a person susceptible to being programmed easier. That's why these motherfuckers do this to us in this such a way. That's why there's a relentless bombardment of this sort of psyops on EI/TIs throughout the world constantly to keep us traumatized in that state. Because when we're in that state, again, we're susceptible to being programmed. Unless, of course, you know what they're trying to do and you already have a countermeasure to go against what they're doing to neutralize whatever trigger and anchor they've already deployed in your mind subconsciously by classically conditioning you to it before you even knew that you were targeted. That's how deep this shit goes. So again, the disclaimer is as follows. If you're watching the movie for the first time as a recently awoken TI, be careful. There's triggers and anchors in this movie that may trigger you. Pause the movie, meditate, go for a walk, I don't know, take a shower, drink some water, go, do some push-ups, watch something else, watch a funny comedy or something real quick, like a comedic YouTube video real quick, you know what I mean? And go back to it later when you're ready. You know what I'm saying? You might have more than one time that you're going to go through that throughout the course of that movie. Just like the movie Get Out. There was a lot of triggers and anchors in that movie that people had to pause. I watched it all the way through, but I'm going to tell you, there was points in time that I realized that I was even being triggered to a certain extent, and I almost didn't realize it and catch on to it till I was going through the motions. That's how deep that shit is. That's why you got to stay alert and pay attention to how you're feeling. You know what I mean? At the moment, in real time, to catch those things. And then now, I like to just go back to commenting on that movie in regards to how it resonated with me. The movie resonated with me in several ways. One of the main ways that it resonated with me was in the fact that you had a small group of people that were involved in this neighborhood watch thing that was a lot bigger than what we saw in the movie. They just concentrated on a small group of people. But understand that this thing is a lot bigger than what we saw in this movie. So what I'm saying with that is that the tentacles that reach from this program go all over the place. Places that you wouldn't even imagine are involved in this shit are involved. So to me, what resonated with me with that was the fact that, wow, they're showing a depiction of what and how these motherfuckers more than likely do this shit. You know what I mean? And how they're able to hide it in plain sight. And how they have regular Joe, civil workers, everything from a store merchant to a policeman to a carpenter to a lawyer to a doctor to a nurse to a civil servant to a banker to a secretary, office workers, you know what I mean, construction workers, all the tentacles that tie into this, and then how they make it all work like a cog in the wheel. Each person has a duty to do. And just about each person doesn't know the entire shebang, the entire story. But that's not by chance, it's by design. Compartmentalization. You only need to know what you need to know and do what you're supposed to do at that moment. You don't know what the person above you is doing, or the person below you is doing, or the person next to you is doing. You're just told to do your job at that specific moment. I watched a lot of that through the course of that movie in action, and it made me think about how these perps out here on street level work and operate. So I realized, you know what I'm saying, that movie is not just a depiction of what they think, you know, is going on, but in actuality, what could have been going on, and what's still going on, and what's gotten even deeper at this point in time. A lot of the stuff that I saw in there reminded me of the way they go about following us around and having other people follow us around, and quite possibly how some of the people that are following us don't even know that they're following us for specific reasons that they tell us. You know, not us, they tell them why. They could tell them that we're pedophiles, that we're rapists, that we're drug dealers, that we're, you know, scum of the earth type of people, kidnappers and shit like that. Because in the movie, when I saw that particular investigative reporter, I think his last name was Welch in the movie, when Nicolas Cage was sent to go and meet up with him, that was a setup and a half. Because I think what they did was they watched both of them. They knew how their personalities were. They knew more or less that they were to cross paths with each other, and one thought one thing about the other, that some shit would jump off, and by accident some shit would happen, and carry out what they needed to carry out, which was the investigative reporter's murder. But it was by mistake, of course. You know what I mean? If you saw the movie, I don't want to, I'm kind of like ruining the thing right now. Just realize that, pardon me for that, spoiler alert with that. But, you know, it's to prove the point in regards to how far these people are willing to go with the street leader antics, and how far they're willing to go to run the script the way they want it to go, synchronized and everything. When you looked at what the guy had in the envelope, he had what looked like a profile of him, and it said sex offender. That's what Nicolas Cage thought that guy was, but he wasn't that at all. In fact, this man was getting ready to drop bombs and expose this particular network, and that's why they wanted him dead. Nicolas Cage didn't know that, but they had him believe that he was a pedophile. See what I'm saying? So that's how these motherfuckers do in this real reality of what we go through in this circus of what the targeted individual program consists of. Who knows the shit that they've said about us to people in our neighborhoods and, you know, people within our work environments, school environments, wherever we are as TIs. Follow us. There's a narrative that follows us. With me, I already know what mine was. Mine was and still is that I'm crazy. You know, that I'm violent, that I'm crazy, this, that, whatever. You know what I mean? That's the whole thing that has followed me since I was a teenager. And then it probably grew and evolved to something else, for all I know. You know what I mean? That's how these people work. I saw a lot of that in the movie, reflecting back at me. I remember that slim, bald-headed guy that would always be around where this guy, Nicolas Cage, when the character would go into a specific area, and this guy would be there, whether he'd be lurking in the background or he'd be within a setting within his line of vision. The same way that these perps do to us in the movie, this guy was doing to Nicolas Cage. He would pop up just about everywhere he was, where he would end up going. I don't know if what True 7 remembers that, but there was this short little bald-headed dude that was driving the SUV at one point too. I was always like the right-hand man of Simon's. It would be like right around him each and every time. I remember that. What did that, you know, make you feel or think about in regards to that? If there's anything else you want to add on to that.
this is what I got out of it. With Nicolas Cage's character, they had to change this dude because they needed to knock out two people who could have automatically challenged the system. And they already knew about the investigator journalist. So what they did was they were going to blackmail both of them. So no matter what, even if he did do that favor for him, they were going to blackmail him. Blackmail Nicolas Cage either way. You know what I'm saying? And so they had to put this guy in front of him every time. All right, we missed it this time, so we're gonna meet up here and try to get him. They were trying to do it every time, you know what I'm saying? To set him up, you know what I mean? The only way to do that was position that ball dude everywhere they went, you know what I mean? But is there anything else in that movie that you felt had some sort of impact on the way you saw your targeting that reflected back on you, besides the stuff you already said, if you think a little deeper? Also, they make threats to your family, kill them, or that they get their your friends and family involved. You know, I really do believe. I think some of my friends. Holy shit! Some of them have got a boat trolley. I do believe some of my friends were killed because of this. They knew too much information. They were very articulate people and smart artists too, by the way. And always pushed their skill limits more than I could. There we go. You're sick as fuck, dude. You know? You're looking for the state, you're a sick person. And you too. Stop following people. They didn't want me talking about all this shit. So this is what happens, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want people to understand that in real time, just now, I mean, this call is pre-recorded and all, but whenever one of you guys hear this upon playback, you'll see and hear what we're talking about in regards to how this stuff never stops, never ends. It keeps on going. These cocksuckers deploy the psychological operations on us on the daily. Right now, in real time. Right. What happens just now? Well, if you don't mind, right now, well, they came in all directions, you know, got on my blind side, did the little hand signal, get in my way, and then, like, as I turned the corner, he turned the corner, like, to give you that sunken feeling, you know? And I already knew what he was doing. And then, the moment I turned and talked to him, I saw another one of his buddies come around, and he's, oh, shit, he's in trouble. And then when I moved, he walked right in front of me, and I almost tripped on him. I skidded across him. I'm like, hey, and you stopped following me, too. You followed me ever since you know, and when I got off the jet, that dude got off, too. You know? I hate this shit. There was like 4 or 5 of them all at once, just swarmed in, just boom, 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 like a bunch of raptors on me, dude. All 4 different directions. Like like right there. Well, stop it. And it's not cool. I didn't do nothing to you people. And you just think, what are you talking about? You know, that's another thing. They act like nothing's going on. What organization you're talking about, they make you look fucking crazy. I apologize for that on the call, but it just got too much. I'm like, yo, you're swarming way too close, you know? Fucking cocksuckers, man. Nah, yo, don't worry about that. Don't even worry about that, man. Shit happens and you gotta vent and you gotta let it out, let it rip. Don't even worry about it. I would do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, appreciate it. It is what it is, you know what I mean? Can't allow these motherfuckers to try to make us feel like we're closed in and shit and we can't do nothing and we're not gonna say nothing. You know what I mean? If you feel like you wanna explode one of these motherfuckers verbally and give them like a
you know what I'm saying, a verbal beatdown, you know what I'm saying? Do what you gotta do. I would do it. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not gonna hold in something like that. That anger, that turns into cancer later on. When you hold shit like that in, that fucking really pissed off feeling, you know what I mean? I've heard about that, man. So I'm not gonna try to catch no cancer like that, man. I'm gonna let one of them fucking feel it. You know what I mean? I'd rather have that happen. You know what I'm saying? They're doing wrong anyway. They deserve it. And I want to make it clear that I'm talking about a verbal laceration. You know what I'm saying? Like, if someone attacks you, then that's something else. Totally different. That's a whole ball of wax. That's different from, you know, someone trying to follow you and provoke you in that sense. Someone attacks you physically, you make sure they don't get up and do it again. You know what I'm talking about. But that's that. Going back to the movie, man, I personally felt like there was a lot there that we could break down some more. I like to focus on the fact that that movie showed a side of Hollywood that knows what's going on, right? Even though they're doing it too out there, and because it's proven, man. Look at Martin Lawrence, look at Dave Chappelle, look at Cat Williams, look at DMX, you know, Randy Quaid. These are all targeted individuals, y'all. And they're within Hollywood and the entertainment industry, the music industry. And these people, make no mistake, they've been organized, stalked, gang stalked, caused stalked, proxy stalked, however you want to put it, by these surveillance role players, these perps, you know what I mean? And for this movie to come out the way it did, and I think I would have to agree with what you said last time on that. You said something about this movie came out in 2012, I think it was, you said? I don't know if it was 2012 or...
Yeah, 2012.
Okay. So that was like, what, 7, 8 years ago? You know what I mean? That's a pretty long stretch of time from then to now. And I'm going to have to say something, man, that I need to clarify for myself that I didn't say on the call last night, but I'm glad I got the opportunity now to say it now. I remember you had asked Nigel if he saw back in before his time frame when he started realizing that he was targeted, and has it changed from then to now? Did he notice a boom, an increase in the targeting? He said that no, it's pretty much been the same from his standpoint, and he's talking from his standpoint, which I understand and we all respect. You know, that's his experience, because you did ask him his experience and his opinion on his targeting and stuff like that.
Exactly, yeah. I know what you mean.
From my perspective, from my experience, when they came out overt on me in May of 2015, which happens to be 5 years ago, I recall that everything to me seemed at that time like they were coming out in a bombardment type of way, where they were like blitzing me back to back, almost like forcing me to see it, because they wanted me to know. They wanted me to see the shit. So I would say in between 2015 and 2016, and even 2017, I would say there was a boom and an increase in how hard the targeting got for me personally. It started declining somewhat towards the end of 2018, and then started raising up again in 2019. So it would fluctuate on 2018 somewhat up and down, and then in 2019 it picked up again. And it's on and off, because it depends on what you're doing, what you've done, what you plan on doing. What I mean by that, if you continue to do what we're doing, which is exposing them, exposing their tactics, you know, pretty much documenting what we feel is good, solid footage of what they do to put on record and help educate other fellow EI/TIs who are recently awoken to this as confirmation that they're not bugging out, that they're not losing it, that they're not going crazy, as possibly family members and fake friends around them who are brought out by this program are telling them, are you okay? You think you need to see a shrink maybe? Maybe you need to see a psychiatrist, you know? All that is gaslighting. And that gaslighting that they're doing is intended for the purposes of you questioning your own sanity, questioning who you are as a person. To me, it got to the point where it was insulting my intelligence. And at that point, once it got there, I started doing shit about it. What did I start doing? I started counter-psyoping members of my family. I banned members from my family coming to this house ever again. Certain members, of course, not all of them. There's still a handful that didn't target me and didn't do the psyops. But I could count them in one hand which ones did it. And those are the only ones that could still come and are allowed to come to my house. The others have been banned. On my father's side, completely banned. On my mother's side, some are banned. Why did I do that? I did that for my own sanity, because my sanity comes first before any of those motherfuckers. I don't care if they're my blood. To me, it don't matter. To me, you became my enemy the second that you decided to play along with this program. Even family friends that I know for over 30, 40 years, same thing, same deal. I will not hesitate, not for a second, to cut anybody off that has participated in this program against me in any way, shape, form, or fashion. And I suggest any fellow EI/TI out there that's recently awoken that feels the need to cut anybody off that has targeted them in the same fashion, do the same thing. Because they're not going to stop. In fact, they might give you the illusion that they're going to stop, but they'll start it up again once they feel comfortable enough that you feel comfortable around them again, and then they see that they can now start fucking with you again because your defenses are down. And when your defenses are down and they start targeting you again, the trauma behind that is a lot stronger. They know this. This is why I'm putting this out as a warning to help my fellow EI/TIs that may come across this podcast and listen to it upon playback and take heed to what I'm saying. I'm not going to tell you something like that for nothing. Now, I'm not saying that you need to do what I did because I did it. No. I feel like if you feel it's necessary for you to do it, you got to weigh out your situation according to how your situation is. Not everybody's situation is the same, obviously. So if you look at your scenario and you feel that by you having these so-called quote-unquote friends around you or family members around you that are in your home and they visit you and they target you while they're there by coughing, sneezing, clearing their throat, sniffling, hawk spitting, giving you a weird eye look, like that evil eye, but then they try to hide it in some other way, doing the hand signals, whether it's patting themselves on the head, like doing the perp wave, that's another famous one, like putting a hand all over their head like that, going backwards, pinching their nose, scratching that one eye, pinching their nose, rubbing the nose wipe, holding onto the chin or squeezing the chin or scratching their chin area real quickly, scratching the side of their face, you know what I mean? Dropping their keys. And this is all in front of you, so you can see and hear it. These are audible triggers and visual triggers. Visual and audible triggers and anchors. Understand that these are done by design. Dark NLP, dark neuro-linguistic programming tactics that are designed to keep the target under the mind control of fear, anxiety, isolation, and everything else that can entail what negative energy can entail within that. Depression, sadness, you know what I mean? Because they want to make you feel like that to control you better, to make you, it's almost like a punishment as well, They have said to me that they have been told, or they have heard, and I've heard this too, because I've seen other YouTube videos and people saying this within their videos, that some of the family members are approached by these international cult members, or maybe even the police department's liaison units, which are basically the NYPD liaison community cop thing, you know what I mean? Those types that kind of deal with the community on an inside basis, where they speak to the neighborhood and they have people with walkie-talkies doing neighborhood watch. Look out for those, the NYPD Community Affairs Department. Well, that's for New York. If you're in California, then you look for the California Community Affairs Police Department. You know what I mean? And with that being said, you can understand that how they go about doing this sort of stuff is right amongst the clean, sight. It's like they don't hold no boss. They're at a point now, even I think Raw Truth has said this, man, that they're doing shit right in plain sight. They're not even hiding. They don't care anymore. And they don't care if it's your family member or not. They just do it. If there's money involved, they'll do it. We live in a tough economic time, too, so expect betrayal. That's what happened with my family. They're all cut off. No more. And again, they even sneaked in old family friends, too. And what's interesting enough? Those people that were family friends, that I knew, you know what I'm saying, they didn't like them, you know what I'm saying? And now all of a sudden they're friends. Part of the flock together, It walks like a duck, it talks like a duck, it's a motherfucking duck, That's it. So, and we got street theater. I'm going to take a picture of this and I'm going to send this to you.
All
right. Yo, Raw. And that hit you with the cops from a lie too, and that's all they've been doing. That was like in my path of walking. It just happened right now. There's about the cop ambulance, ambulance and cops on the corner. Do you remember what I told you what that is? That Nigel taught me it was, like the term for that? It's like that panic that, every time you see a cop, it's panic. It's showing that aggressive, what was it called? Power of association? No, it's all right. Okay. Power of association, power of suggestion. Okay. Yeah, try to remember that, bro, because that's stuff that we all, we need to know to pass on to other TIs and whatnot. I don't expect you to have everything right away. It's not, it's not like fucking exam or anything, right? But it's just these things, man. It's good to know these things, man. So that way we get some terminology if you ever went to court or something, we're all on the same page, Exactly. Yeah, that whole thing, you were about to say managed aggression. That's yet another term that's good to know as well, man. It's definitely part of that, too. It's like with that cop that said that he was a TI. And he still carries his gun, though. Come on, dude. You know what I mean? But he did say something that did make sense. And he said that the FBI has something called managed aggression. And through managed aggression, what it is that through all these psychological operations that they deploy on us, alongside the silent sound, spread spectrum, mind control technology that's used, and the voice-to-skull technology and things of that nature, all that in combination with each other, they take us 80% there. The other 20%, they're expecting us to do it, if that makes any sense. Yep. And that's kind of like what they were doing right when they got off of my stop, because there was a couple of these people. I know they all weren't going to get off at the stop I was getting off at. They were just 2 on 2 off, 2 on 2 off. They kept doing the same pattern. I noticed it. They were waiting for me to explode, and then they were coming at me like 4 Raptors, just on all sides. Like I was almost like falling.
got me in that sunken feeling, and I almost tripped on him over one of them, and he didn't say nothing back. Just walked right in front of me, didn't even like stop to let me walk by. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it made me flip. I could have just went violent, but that's not my nature. I'm just letting them know. I'm like, hey, dude, stop doing this. It's evil. Like, they're gonna turn on you, man. Like my thing is, I think they've been experienced the targeting like we have, probably not as severe, but they don't want it around, so they participate, and then they get these peaceful times where they live out somewhere and no one's messing with them. You know what I'm saying? That's why they're forced to do it. It's kind of like in the movie. Remember when they said, "All right, you don't want to. If you don't, like what happened to Nicolas Cage's character, if he didn't participate, they keep going after him and harassing him and gaslighting him and possibly try to kill him." But these people, remember there was one person that had to kill that pedophile that raped his wife? He had to do that. He was in distress. Remember, he was already blackmailed from someone. That's what I was getting at. I was like, wait a second, why is he like so distressed? Why does he feel like he has to do it? He don't have to do it, you know what I mean? But he had to because there was something already blackmailed on him, and it carries on and keeps going on and on and on and on and on until, like, the city is just left with them, And then that's just what I get out of it. I think these people are forced into this because they have been blackmailed or they've been managed, a lower sentence of parole or a lower sentence of jail time, house arrest, whatever, community service.
Right. Yo, Raw, what are your thoughts, man, on toward the end of the movie? But I had a Simon for a second. Yeah. What are your thoughts on what Simon at the end? He was screaming at Nicolas Cage and explained to him, "I'm not crazy, such and such."
Oh yeah.
Can you break that down? Because when you said it on the first call, man, that was on point. And then what you said afterwards that resonated with you, that you were like, "Holy shit, boom."
Yeah, if you don't mind, man, I totally get it, and I think I brought a little bit of it up earlier, but this brings more to it. The problem with Simon is he was good at what he did. He was already, he hated his city going to shit. He said, "Look at all these people. They're drunk, they're drinking themselves, fucking and eating themselves into a stupor, while the good people, they sit back and do nothing, and then when something bad happens, they bitch and moan and complain about it, and they're along for the ride. Dude, this is why I do it." I decided, along the lines, he was pretty much saying, this organization decides who lives and dies, pretty much. And he did it because he gained a narcissistic God complex about him, where he decides who lives and who dies, because he was tired of the city going to shit, and he didn't want this program to be taken over by anybody else. And he took measures way too far, and so it was too far. It was too much for him to go back and replace his track, because he was already committing murder. He has to keep it going. It's like, once you tell one lie, you got to keep the other lie going. And that's the only reason why that program kept going the way it did. When he reached the higher ups, because he already gained a squad of people that he can quote unquote trust and do all this dirty work for extra money. And whoever it was, that was paying him, which is probably the government, probably the FBI, CIA, private contractors, corporations. If he wanted his money to keep going, he has to do what they tell him to. And if not, someone's going to come after him. He said there was one of many cells. If you cut this one off, it's still going to keep going, though. I hope that made sense when I broke it down a little bit more.
Absolutely. That's what I was trying to get you to get on record again, man, because that was really well said and put on record right there for people to understand exactly what you were saying there, and I'm pretty sure they'll understand it better now with that, man, because I know I do. Let me ask you this. What are your thoughts in regards to how he was approached right after his wife got brutally raped by that pedophile or what have you, and in the setting that it was in the hospital, and how he approached him when he sat behind him and all that stuff, and he tried to comfort him and let him know he was alone, that shit like that. What were your thoughts on how that approach was done? And do you see that happening in regards to people possibly in our setting, maybe in a setting where they look for people who are enemies or people who we have maybe in their eyes wronged in some way, a jilted lover, you know, a woman who's angry at you or something like that, or an ex-friend of yours who was always jealous of you, and they approach those because they know that they have a lot on you as far as information from the past and whatnot. So I'm asking you that because I want to know if you saw or felt anything in regards to that particular scene where you see that these people could possibly do the same thing to people.
Of course.
Okay.
The narcissist always needs an emotional counterpoint. That's how narcissists survive, because they can't feel nothing. They feel no conviction. They're just going to do what they're going to do. So they need that mimicry to feel something. There's a chemical called oxytocin. It's like having a pet, treating something like a pet or slave or someone to rule over to make them feel good so they can feel something, because most of these narcissists and psychopaths, in my book, he was a psychopath. He didn't feel anything, you know, and he needed him to feel something, and he knew there was also, at the same time, a vulnerable point. Nicolas Cage was vulnerable. He's thinking he's going to lose his wife. He wanted revenge. He wasn't in the right mind. For people who are empaths, when we have something traumatic happen to us, and when something happens like this, we want revenge right away. And Simon knew the exact moment to counteract that and said, hey, I can do this for you, you know, and all you have to do is a small little favor, but it was a big favor. And not knowing it was blackmail, you know, that he was getting into. And with that said, is when he approached Will, which was Nicolas Cage's character, he was already in that vulnerable state, and he took advantage of that. He was plotting to kill, already in his mind, to kill, what was his name, Aaron Walsh, the investigative journalist. And plus, on top of that, these people were both teachers, teachers or people who were in high positions to influence. You know, because he was already a teacher, and he was in philosophy and very gifted and creative. He could indoctrinate people easily, you know, through good and righteous intentions, you know. And so he thought, well, I can get Aaron out of the way, and then I can get Nicolas Cage out of the way, you know, or either that. If not, I can get him to work for me. Because remember at the, sorry, spoiler alert, but remember the detective at the end, he asked him, hey, do you want to work for our agency, or we would like to have you anytime? Just give us the call. I think he, like he said, I really thought about it, he wanted to replace Simon's position. He wanted him to replace Simon's position. You know? Exactly. Because that's what I saw at the end. You know what I mean? I was like, why else would they go to that extent of letting him go at the precinct, uncuffing him, giving him 10 minutes to get out of there? And he got a person. Yeah. And they wanted someone like that to lead that particular type of, he had a leader complex, and he was in the Shakespeare philosophy and all this kind of stuff, you know? Teachers can indoctrinate, and they go to school for this. He had like a master's degree or something, I don't know. Well, they didn't call him doctor or anything. I don't think so. He was just not a teacher, but regular teacher, yeah. But I mean, there was also his wife too. You got to remember, his wife was a musician. She was creative. Why? They were going after creative people. This is what I know. Not average Joe people. They use average Joe people for, you know, footwork, just dummy work. You know, they keep them on board, and they're just disposable. You know, but they were trying to get Nicolas Cage involved, and if not, they excommunicate him, kill him out of society, which what was happening. Oh, here we go. They're doing the street theater. You heard that in the background? No. I believe it was like the guy was hand on his head, and then he rolled over this piece of the street. It was a small piece of it. You have to really be trying to hit it, and it sounded like a shotgun. It was loud. Yeah. They do it 24/7. Blacked out Suburban again. Custom license plate. Well, they're not stopping, that's for sure. They already know I'm here. The guy walks by me with one hand in the pocket, and he took it out. Weird.
Usually what I pick up on that one hand in the pocket, when I see it in my videos or when I see it in real time, it's usually to point out where we are, what side are we on. You know, like if we're on the left side, we put it on the left pocket. They put it on the right side, it's on the right pocket. Yeah. Like indicating the target is on this side. You know what I mean? That's what I picked up on. I could be wrong, though.
One thing in this city, they don't like people just sitting around. They always want them walking around. I mean, I'm so tired, though, and I'm not doing nothing wrong, but they don't.
Shit, nigga, you working out there. Yeah. It's not like you out there lazy and around and bothering people. You out there, you work, man. You work for yours, and you got every right to chill on the bench if you feel like chilling on a fucking bench. You know? Man?
And it's that, and when you don't move, they swarm you. They swarm you. Like, there's 2, 3, 5 bus. There's been 4 of them that went by so far. They're supposed to come by every 15 minutes. What the fuck?
Right.
There's 4 of them that went by in the last 10 minutes. Don't make no sense.
You're raw. So going back to the movie real quick, man. In the scene where they were in the bar, and he goes in there, he tries to get.
Oh yeah.
What are your thoughts on that scene, man?
All right, here we go. This brings back the last night too. We were talking about. My thing with it is these people were perps. You know, the 3 people he's talking to, he's like, yeah, he was a good guy, but then they were covering it with drinking and good jokes and whatever. He's all, yeah, he was on to something. The aliens were ready to come and take over the world, and they're all laughing like, and then as he was leaving, he's all, next time when you come snooping around like a cop or something, don't act like his friend. But the entire time, those guys were perps, and they were part of that organization. And they were already watching Aaron Walsh. I think, you know, as it relates into the real world, like being a targeted individual, when we're on those calls, and you always hear that one perp that comes in and he's like, hey, you're a fucking faggot, you know, blah, 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 you know. Like, they try to disrupt and get you off course and say, oh, it's the aliens, it's demonic technology, and it's weird shit, you know what I mean? That don't make sense, you know. They're the ones that come and throw us off and make us look crazy. That's what I got out of it with those guys, and they were the infiltrators to watch Aaron Walsh and anyone else that was catching on to the lead, you know, to expose this program. That's what I got out of it. That made sense.
Most definitely. That was definitely well said, bro. Appreciate that, man. Your input is definitely worth hearing, and I'm sure people who come across this particular podcast in regards to that, they'll feel the same, man. Yo, I'm gonna say this too, man. That movie made me realize also how you know these people go about putting things in a way where you won't see it unless it's shown to you in such a way where you're like, oh snap. There's somebody standing there. Okay. That's just somebody standing there, right? But then this movie proves, no. You might look at that as a person who's just standing there, but I've seen this person before. Yeah, well, you know, it could be coincidental. That word, coincidental, coincidence, that word ceases to exist for genuine empowered individual / targeted individual due to the fact that it goes out the window at this point. Why? Because wherever we go, no matter day, night, rain, shine, snow, I'm speaking for myself because I'm on the East Coast, that's why I added snow. You know, these motherfuckers will be on us like white on rice before we even get out the doors of our homes. They're already out there, revving up their cars as they're ready to get out. Walking out.
They just did it to me right now.
You know what I mean? As soon as our foot hits the pavement of the concrete outside the building of the last step that you go onto, boom, they're on it. And then they already know where you're going. And you're going to have people already there at your destination waiting for you to get there. And alongside your path, you're going to have physical obstacle courses. You're going to have people trying to bump into you, or people dropping stuff in front of you, or you're going to find vomit in your path, or you're going to find a piece of shit literally in your path. All this stuff, like Sam said, from Toronto, Canada, shout out to Sam, you know, he had said all these things are done to disgust you, to get you to hate to go out, to get you to stay home and stay isolated and not want to go out because you're going to see all these negative stimuli within your line of vision, constantly bombarding your psyche and bypassing your conscious and going into your subconscious until it comes back and regurgitates into your conscious. That shit is crazy what I just said. And that's exactly what happens. You know what I mean? And what I've been able to determine, man, is when you see movies like this, it reminds you that there are people out there that know what the fuck is going on, but they're camouflaging the shit as entertainment. And that's not something new. That is not something new at all. They've been doing this stuff. Because make no mistake, these people know what the fuck they're doing. They know. You know what I'm saying? It's not a mistake that Dave Chappelle went to Africa and said over to James Lipton while he was interviewing him, he said, "You see him laughing? That evil laugh? They know." See, but the thing is, they used to Dave Chappelle being such a comedian, which he is, a genius comic at that. You know what I mean? But he's telling y'all the truth at the same time. And people are laughing like, you know, he's joking, but he's not joking.
Yeah. One thing to point out in that interview, too, remember when they all were clapping for him? He's like, "Yeah, I see you. Yeah, I know." You could see it in his eyes. You remember that? The people in the audience?
Yeah. There was actually a dude in the audience, black guy, wearing a military camouflage shirt. No lie.
Oh, wow.
What are the odds of that?
And just
I'm not
one,
saying
you know?
anything, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying we as TIs know what that means symbolically through patterns and color. And you're at an event where you should act a little more casual, you know? A little bit back. Yeah. When it's anything, yeah. You know, he's like, but if you were to say anything right then in that moment, then he goes, "I know, they didn't this, you know, I had a wherever he was, art of academy or something like that. I don't know. Right. Art academy or something like that. Yeah. That automatic, and I think half of those people were perks. Getting used to it. You recall what you had said, Cat, when you store with that guy that was working at the store with the eyebrow thing and shit? Yeah, he was at Kmart, I believe, right? Like, which one of the things, well, posture, how the physically stands out. That Williams was already flexing on him. The average person, if he was talking shit, would be flinching. Especially a guy like that, dude. You know what I mean? He's been conditioned already. He was set at these paths. And then in the interview, he said, "What did he?" But he said something. It switches over to the reporter raises her eyebrows like, "Anywho, you know, like already trying to get rid of this because it's, you know, the golden age." Position and work. And that's what we'll do, unless you have your own business. Able to do that. That's why these targeted those who just there's plenty of targeted individuals out here that here shoot or whatever. But out of Cat Williams, she's wasn't the only one either. Yeah. Yeah, someone like his okay. Report at the end when she raised her eyebrows. Yeah. Yo, that was like it. It goes to the reporter and then just raises the eyebrows. I was like, it was like saying anywho, you know. Yeah, but the thing was that the guy at the store did the same thing. I know, yeah. But that was probably how he was being conditioned. As far as the visual trigger. Yep. Wow. These people are crazy, man. Yep. Because they have no respect for life. No, they don't. What was the other incident with Cat Williams that you can remember off the top of your head that he went through? Because I know he was with kids being taken from him. Yeah, and they said, can you explain that? They were just saying every negative point. Oh, there was guns in your house, there was drugs. Drug isn't a marijuana is not a drug. You know? Right. And then there was something he said because he was dealing with a lot of racism in the industry because a lot of these people who are in that industry are white. And the actors, white or Jewish, you know, like, and he says, he's like, is there anything you would want to do different if you make a comeback? He's like, yeah, I come back as a white man, and he laughs about it because he was figuring out what was happening. There was a lot of white supremacy, and there was a lot of other races in there, but they're answering to these top people who are just care about their own little group that's been going on for centuries. That's my take on it. I really believe it was a Jesuit or a Masonic order that's in control of it. I mean, because those are the only people that can influence mass population, you know. The only institutions that do that. I recall a Simpsons episode where Mr. Burns, he says, he's looking at all these cameras, he's like, look at all these people infested with germs everywhere, they're unclean people, and then Mr. Smithers is talking to him, his assistant, and he's saying something to him, and he's looking closer and closer to him, and then one of the germs says in it, or a bunch of the germs on Mr. Smithers' face says, Freemasons run the country. If you recall that, if you've ever heard or seen that one before. I mean, I would definitely look it up on YouTube because it's still record. It's still canon to our targeted lives. You know, why would Matt Groening put that in there? You know, and the guy's he is part of the Masonic order. Right. How would you factor in Randy Quaid's targeting in this whole thing as well? Same thing. He's not part of any particular group. He knows how Hollywood operates. He's a good person that always hit key moments. He's a very influential person because he's funny. Everyone knew who he was during the 70s, 80s, even some 2000s. And he also hung around with empathetic people that were just like him that always told the truth and would just tell you the brutal, honest truth. His other friends, David Carrigan, Robin Williams, Heath Ledger, were their best friends, you know. And he says that there's countless others who have been star-whacked. He calls them star-whackers. If
I'm right, if I do recall, if I'm right about that, like, they go around whacking these stars who don't comply with the order and agenda that's set forth in their lives. You know,
real quick, Ron, before we continue any further, people who may not understand the lingo, the word whacking is taken from a movie that's dealing with Italian mobsters. When a mobster says, go whack this fool over here, or go whack this piece of shit over there, whacking pretty much means hit or kill. It's to kill someone.
Yeah, or harassment campaign, you know. Yeah. Well, or just or total sabotage of life.
Okay. Well, you know, as far as what I know, as far as mobsters, when they say go whack this guy, who's going to get whacked? He's going to get whacked. That means he's going to get killed. You know what I'm saying? So star whackers, these people ended up dead. That's what I'm saying. Star killers. Yeah. Because they all ended up dead, the ones that he mentioned. Star whackers. You know what I'm saying? You got Heath Ledger. Who was the other one?
Robin Williams. David Carradine.
You got Carradine.
You got Michael Jackson. You got Prince. Right. You can speak on Prince, and could you speak on Prince? And if people don't understand about his death, and you just speak, you keep me onto that.
Right. No doubt. Yeah, Prince knew about what time it was, man. He was talking about the chemtrails on an interview with that black talk show host on BET. I forgot his name, but he was pretty much letting the cat out the bag, man. And this was an old interview. This was going back to, I think, maybe the mid-'90s.
Yeah, I think it was 97, maybe. I think it was.
Possibly. And he was talking about the chemtrails, how he saw them, you know, when he was a kid on the sky, and how people all of a sudden started fighting amongst each other, and no one knew why. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Causing aggressive nature in people, it's bringing it out later on because it's been around so much. I don't know how long the chemtrail thing's been around, but I'll tell you this, though, Prince was on point with that. Also, you have Heath Ledger, who is kind of not a lone wolf. He's not part of any particular group or anything. He's just an actor who got lucky, you know, sometimes he's from Australia. You know, there is a big Masonic order in Australia, though. It's huge out there. I mean, Australia is just as big as the United States, maybe a bit smaller. But I don't think he was affiliated with any particular group. I've never heard of it. You know, I think he he had a potential leader complex about him. Everyone loved him. Everyone loved him in the Heartthrob movies. He was a very genuine guy, as Dennis Quaid would always put. You know, he's a great person. You know, not just talking out of his ass like all these other actors do. You know, you got Robin Williams. He already dealt with depression. He was a grade A actor. You got Good Will Hunting. You got Miss Doubtfire. You always got these good feel movies that Robin Williams made. And every time you would see Robin Williams, you would always put that particular category and persona with him. So it's like if he ever wanted to be in politics or if he ever wanted to start a movement, he could probably done it like Tupac. Because everyone listened to him. He's winning even overseas nonprofit for the troops. This guy was a charitable guy, very charitable guy. And I think they need to get rid of him. And that's what they did. They wanted to get rid of him. So, and I think he said he's been dealing with depression for years. But if you got to understand, as being a target individual, I think he was already a target, and he was just dealing with it. And if he said anything about it, he would have just looked crazy. If that makes any sense. So they could have oppressed him to be depressed for so long. Maybe he did take his own life. Maybe they did kill him, but still, premeditated murder is premeditated murder. Going after someone and harassing them is premeditated murder. Because anyone who takes their life because of this program is premeditated murder. Yeah, it is suicide, but you don't know what the the repercussions of watering someone's conscience down if they don't know what's going on, and the technology can take over and they can kill themselves. And it's just mind control. This is mass mind control.
Absolutely. Well said, bro. In regards, going back to the movie again, because I want to make sure we keep going back to the movie, because this call is definitely about that movie as well, man. And we're going off like a few things here and there, but that's no problem. I like the fact that we're going into certain realms, but it has to do with targeted individuals, which is the whole point of these calls as well. And people who have gone through certain things in a certain fashion, it's good to document that, put it out there for people to know. So, yeah, man, most definitely something that we got to continue doing in regards to that. But going back to the movie, man, the scene at the end when the reporter goes up the stairwell, he said to him, the hungry rabbit jumps and grabs the thing. You saw how Nicolas Cage looked at him like, yeah, oh, fuck, you like, damn it. Yeah. You know, and what that left me was what you said last night. I think you should say it because you said it best last night, man.
Well, the thing is, the guy worked for the Washington Post, or
yeah, I don't know. I'm not 100%. What was the name of?
It was a media outlet, newspaper media outlet. Let's just say that. And he was one of the directors, I think, right?
Not sure.
It was one of his. It was Aaron Walsh's friend, that's for sure. But he worked there, right? And he's like, he gave him a copy of it, and then he took it, and then as he's going up the elevator, he goes, "Hey, the hungry rabbit jumps, right?" And then he's like, "Damn." What I got out of that was the media outlets have information control. I mean, it don't matter if you have a good story that will bust out everyone that's in this thing, it will always get covered up. You know, it's like that movie, Captain America, with the Winter Soldier, I think it was. He's all, Hydra is everywhere. You'll never know where it is.
A member of Hydra could be sitting right next to you, and you wouldn't know it.
Wouldn't know it.
That was a good comparison, too. Yeah, man. Yeah. Captain America, Winter Soldier, with Hydra. Yeah, that's exactly how these people operate, man, under those same premises.
You know, and it's like, and I mean, to relate to the movie and to relate as a target individual, these people are all in your life, your family members, the postman that you always, you know, your dog got the mail from and loves your dog and loves your family and come in for some lemonade or a snack, you know. They're all involved. And you better believe it. If there's one person that you cut off and all that, they'll make sure they'll try to infiltrate somewhere. Whether it be, hey, man, do you got a cigarette? Hey, oh, I know you're lonely here at this new job. No one talks to you. And let's hang out sometime. They'll get you by that. Remember, TIs, I'm going to say this. This is a key point, too. This relates back to that movie, too. Whenever you feeling the most vulnerable, trust no one. If someone's targeting is not like you're targeting, hand signals, video proof, the same struggle or even close to it, count them off, write them off. If there's any cognitive or any plausible deniability, or like, no, I don't go through that, or no, that doesn't happen, or if they don't even speak on that stuff, count them as rubbish, because they're already infiltrated and talked to. Don't even trust them. We'll let you know that right now. You know, and it's even gotten so, these people have gotten so tricky that they use people who are always nice to me, and they never did a hand signal around me or any weird talking. Actually, two close friends. Remember when I was telling you about that? I don't want to say their name off a record right now, but yeah, because I'm still dealing with all this, you know.
Right. You say whatever you want to say. Right?
Yeah.
It's up to you.
But
whatever you
already know, though, like, Yeah, they already been infiltrated, and they've probably been the entire time, and they always just thought I was a lunatic. And they already know what's going on, man. How do you not see this? Everyone is synchronized, walking around me, doing coughing. Oh, they're just coughing. Like, but every second, man, it's ridiculous. Look, the 4 or 5 white bands that went in. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, come on, man.
Yo, I mean, bro, I know that this is like a little bit going in a stretch, man, but if you don't mind, man, putting on the record the scenario that unfolded with you on the beach, man. Because that's something that I don't know if you're comfortable with sharing that. Lady? Yo, man, if you don't mind putting that on the record, I really appreciate that. I mean,
it's on one of the other videos. It's actually on one of the other videos, too, but I'll bring it up again because we need to have repetitions because sometimes they need to hear the same thing so, you know, people get to know to understand, like, yo, this has happened to me. So for all those new TIs that are going out here, check this out. So when I was homeless in 2014 to beginning of 2016, you know, all the way through that timeline, every time I would go to a feed or be on the beach, there would always be this woman with a Band-Aid on her, under her left eye. You know, and she would eat, and she'd sit across from me. I always thought she was just a weirdo lady. She'd say outlandish shit, you know, and just be a weirdo in general. It was like she was watching me the entire time, and I don't know if there was other people with them. But I already had a friend that I knew before I was homeless. And when my targeting went full-blown, where they went over, where they weren't hiding anymore, they let me know big hints. One night I called my friend. I'm like, hey man, you gotta pick me up, dude. I'm scared right now. I'm being followed by people. He's like, dude, you're not being followed by people. You're on the beach too much. I'm being followed by everybody. Like, it's crazy, insane. So he comes and he picks me up. We go all the way to his house in Lakeside, and we're sitting there and talking. His roommate acts weird to me. He's yelling for no reason, but yelling at someone else on the phone, but saying shit that I did that day, and I'm thinking, why is he doing this to me? You know, this and that. And then the guy goes back in his room, and then me and Eric are talking, you know, and his mom comes in, you know. I don't see. I'm faced towards him. I can't see her walk in, and he goes, "Hi, Mom," and then she walks by with a wig held in her hand, walking by with a Band-Aid under her eye. I think she goes straight to her room and slams it. And I'm like, "Yo, your mom," and I brought it up to him. I'm like, "Your mom's been watching me on the beach." I'm like, "What are you talking about, dude?" So the entire time, I've been stalked by someone that I went to church with, I met at church, and his mom was stalking me on the beach, getting information and data from me, what I like, what I eat, my dislikes, you know, what triggers me. She was real close. Be at weird places. I mean, the most random places I wouldn't expect her to be at certain times. So the entire time, these people who I thought I could trust were always nice to me. It was the whole complete opposite now. And I think it was because of extra money. You know, I mean, I don't know if any other TI has been through something similar like that, but it was like a full-blown movie of betrayal, you know. I'm like, yo, the entire time, this is the people these group of people that were in that house, I went to church with. I'm like, they're supposed to be Christians, man, you know. Like, my roommate said, like, yo, you were supposed to be a Christian, you know. I did holidays with, birthdays with, I went to award ceremonies with, whenever they needed help moving stuff around the house and need help, I was there, treated them like a good friend. But then this happens, it was like my whole world just went upside down. It made no sense. These people watched me probably the entire time I moved here. I mean, maybe I shouldn't go that far, possibly, I don't know. But I'll tell you this, though. that his mom has been watching me for over a year, and I've known her 4 years. The little wig that she had on, and a Band-Aid underneath her eye with sunglasses on. How is this possible? And that's pretty much all I have about that. And I ran into him, actually, matter of fact, on the record, I ran into him, yesterday. And he didn't even look like him for a second, but I caught one who it was. And I went to go eat somewhere that was around that station. What were the odds of me meeting him at that station when the train station goes by every 15 minutes? Come on, man. Exactly. Slim to none, I say. Yeah, he's making no extra cash on the side because he ain't making it right now.
Right. I just wanted to add this real quick, man. The equivalent of that, of what happened to you, because what people need to understand and overstand is this. Raw Truth 7 was on the beach at that time, completely oblivious to the fact that the women that would be sitting on these, I guess you could call benches or beach tables where people eat, diagonally across from them, wearing this hat and wearing this Band-Aid under her eye with a disguise. Oh, really? She was on a wig. Right. Yeah. And he wasn't aware that it was her at all. He thought it was a complete stranger. But then I recall you saying that you did notice her a little too much around your surroundings, and you felt that maybe she was watching you. I remember you telling me this in a prior conversation, but you had no idea who she was at that point either, until that final time when you did see her come in, which was purposely set up for you to see, so you could be traumatized by it. So that whole thing was reminiscent of the first Saw movie, when the guy who was in the bathroom laying down throughout the whole movie was the guy all along, and he shot himself up with, I guess, muscle relaxants, where he was able to remain very stiff and still and not move, and he looked like he was dead. But then at the end of the movie, it was him all along, and he got up and shit once the muscle relaxants wore off, because he knew exactly when to take it, so that way it would look, perfectly at the end, like he would wake up and he would just like be able to get up and, walk around and shit, and be him all along. That's more or less what happened. That was a shocking ending of that movie, Saw. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people were enthralled by it, including myself. That's what made it want people to make second part, third part, fourth part, fifth part, sixth part. Wasn't too far, but you know what I mean? That first part of Saw, the ending of that movie, man, was like, that was a masterpiece in regards to a thriller, in regards to how the director fucked your whole head up. That's a twist, you know what I'm saying? So what they did there was they used that type of situation and superimposed it in Raw Truth 7's targeting, but in real life. That shit is crazy. Now, it didn't go as far as the movie and all that, but we don't need to do all the shit. It was enough what happened there to put him into shock mode. And that shock mode could have easily turned into a nervous breakdown eventually if he would be kept being pushed and pushed. And he was being pushed and pushed, but that shows that Raw Truth 7 has a resilient spirit and a strong mind to go along with it, because not just anybody's going to be able to withstand something like that and still keep their wits about themselves. I mean, at that point, I'm talking about in real time at that point. I'm sure it wasn't easy for you. I'm sure it was rough. Hell no. I mean, no one you can trust anymore at that point. It was done with at that point. I thought, you know what I mean? Like, it didn't make no sense. Like, because they already have me in this bubble, so I'm cut off from the outside world, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't have family helping me. I didn't have anyone else helping me, so it only left me with certain opportunities. I was already blacklisted at that point. I mean, come on, I'm looking for jobs, like, over and over and over. It's competitive out here. I mean, I couldn't even get a job through, like, Labor Ready. And if I did, it was the most fucked up shit you have to deal with, getting yelled at 24/7, while someone who doesn't lift a goddamn fucking finger, you know what I mean? They get congratulated, and then when you look at them, they're like, they give you that. It's purposely done like that, and you can't prove it. I'm always getting called in the office like every other fucking day. Man, it's a nightmare, bro. It was designed for me to get trauma and to have a nervous breakdown, either to be mentally put in a mental psych ward, that, or kill myself, because I'm not getting any self-esteem, no affirmative, you know, any verbal affirmation of like I'm doing good, or even have a slightest opinion I'm doing good. You know what I'm saying? That does a lot to your esteem. You know what I mean? I knew I was doing good, but like, it's just a fact of the matter when you're fucking bombarded 24/7, and then when you go home, you have to answer to somebody. You know what I mean? You didn't do this, you didn't do that, and it's just like fuck. While one of the other roommates is sitting inside not fucking doing shit all day. Like, so looking back at it now, it's just like, what the fuck happened, you know? And then now, I don't have nobody, so it's like starting a new life over again. But God bless you, squad, because you know what? I got y'all. And then that really helps me a lot, man. It makes me feel fucking normal again. Like, I was really nervous at first, but you guys really came around, and like, I don't feel like I'm saying something stupid and I'm going to be judged for it. You know what I mean? Because you guys share in the same category of what's going on with me. Like, I bet you, at times, depending on the person you are, like, you've had maybe some esteem issues, depression issues, or if something just crazy happens for no reason, or you feel like you're just like, you don't feel like you're part of society anymore, you know? I really thought I was excommunicated. I mean, I was homeless for a long time. I mean, yeah, I did look for work here and there, little side jobs, but nothing, just the shittiest jobs. And I do remember on one of our calls that we had this last year about, you know, when a targeted individual is targeted, you know, he's getting, they'll try to fire him or they will blacklist him. And when you do get a job, they give you the most toughest jobs, the hardest jobs, and in the most toughest conditions, at the most toughest times to work at, you know, which is night shift. You know, you don't get a normal life. Sometimes, most of the time, split days off, or you'll have to work more to pay your rent and all this and that, depending on areas. I can verify that. You remember that? Yeah, I'm hearing that. I work overnights. I also do security type work. So I can definitely confirm and verify that, what you're saying, bro. So, yeah. And, I mean, it really confirmed what Nigel said. I'm like, wow, man, I can really, okay, I'm not crazy anymore. I think at that point, I was already starting to get comfortable with the group, but when I heard that group, when I heard that from the group, I'm like, yo, I don't feel crazy anymore. Because no one ever in my life would bring that type of shit up. You know what I'm saying? It's like, they're like, no, you're just not working hard enough. You're not looking hard enough. I'm like, no, it would never be this hard looking for work. You know? But, you know, when Nigel said, they'll give you the toughest jobs, that's what they do. And if you do get an easy job, they'll send out the peanut gallery. That's for sure. I mean, every night. You know what I'm saying? Right? Got that from me. Remember that? Exactly. You know, yeah. See those games, you know? Fucking peanut gallery, man. Snoopy, Charlie Brown, Lucy, or Patty and shit. What the fuck? Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, you remember the kid that walks around with the fucking blanket everywhere he goes and shit? And the dude, the kid with the dirt around him constantly, and like, that's the homeless people, bro. Like, those dudes, when you say Peanut Gallery, it's true. Every character that's in there, that's like the game stalking squad right there. You know what I'm saying? Check it out. They got the homeless dude that always stink or is covered in dirt. That's that smelly kid with the dirt around him all the time. You got You got Linus, the a crybaby with a blanket. But, he's witty, though. He's smart. You know what I'm saying? You know what the fuck he's doing. Charlie Brown's like, good grief, I'm tired of everyone. At times I feel like he's the target individual. Right. You know what I mean? You got Lucy being a bitch, But, yeah, but the job thing, though, man, it's true, though. Like, I would work the most just craziest shifts, man. Like, it's either, I'm working graveyard shifts, somewhere, or I gotta wake up at, like, fucking literally 3 in the morning just to get the job. That takes 2 buses to get all the way to 6 o'clock in the morning, you know what I mean? And then once I get home, once I'm done with work and come home, I gotta go to sleep, and that's all I do. And then my days are split. You know what I mean? Ain't that some shit? And they purposely do that. That's the life of a targeted individual, right there. And there was, you got all these other characters that were, quote unquote, your friends, your homies, you know what I mean? And they could have been giving you jobs the entire time. They're paying $18, $20 an hour. But guess what they do? Nah, man, we're not hiring right now. But yeah, motherfucker, you catch them slipping, like back then, saying, we just hired this new cat. I'm like, oh, what? I don't know if any of your friends that said they would give you jobs and they slipped up and said, oh, like, we just got this new guy, Like, wait a second. You weren't hiring anybody, you know what I mean? Like, it's just crazy, man. That's happened. You know what I'm saying? That's happened. See? Told you. I mean, they do that shit. You could have been living like kings. What they were doing is keeping you at bay. They're giving instructions by their handler. Because if they did get you a job, guess what? They lose their job. They're keeping you at bay and giving you a bone here and there, man, and trying to be your friend and be the sympathetic one at that moment. That way you feel like you're not too crazy, but they'll still push you a little on the edge so they can control you. That's what's in my head. Yeah, I mean, of course, because I've been through it. I'm like, dude, I went to a church where I could have just been, doing concrete work. I could have been doing, working at a construction place, making $14, $15 an hour, 50 hours a week. And that's just the minimum they do. I never got it. You know what I'm saying? I know I could, because they're always hiring in that shit. And then I could have just, got with somewhere else. Not one damn person. They were just doing that to play the sympathy card, so I wouldn't go out of line. But I'll always come to church, tell them what's going on, what's my triggers, what's going on, Oh, you don't like your dad? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, son. They don't give a fuck. These are Christians who are just fucking pagans. Like another Nicolas Cage movie where he's trying to look for this girl, and this island is full of these quote-unquote Christians, but all along they were pagans. Was that the Wicker Man? Was that the Wicker Man? The Wicker Man. Same thing. They're gaslighting them to you and everything. It's based off of an old 70s movie, I want to say. It's from the 70s? It had to have been from the 70s. The guy was a Christian, and he went researching for this missing child, but, they sacrificed the child, Those sick people, Like, all these people, they know what's going on. And, these are churches doing that. I'm like, yo. And that brings me up to this. I'm like, can you tell people about the 501c3, and how it pertains to organized harassment in churches, religious institutions, and community that are almost kind of religious, like do good in your community type shit? So basically, as far as I know, the whole thing about 501c3 that I'm aware of, because I remember when I was reading it and I was coming across that information, I was like in awe the first time I came across it, because I was like, wow, man, now it all makes sense with this type of shit going around. 501c3 basically boils down to is the fact that when a church files for something like that, what it means now, once they get approved of it, is that they control, the government controls whatever the priest or pastor or reverend or whatever the church denomination that is that's filing the 501c3 is now controlled by the government at the pulpit. They control what the pulpit is being said. In other words, they cannot speak about anything political or anything against the government or anything that it goes against the government in any sort of way. They pretty much dictate what they're allowed to say. But now, by them doing that, they're tax exempted. So that is the simple way of putting and breaking down what that 501c3 is and what it does, and how a lot of these churches have become 501c3 in order to get that tax exemption at the end of the year. But, of course, they have to resort to being slaves of the government. In other words, they cannot freely express themselves in the pulpit of that church. They cannot criticize the government in any way, shape, form, or fashion. And believe you me, just like everywhere else, these people have their agents placed very strategically within the audiences and possibly even within the assembly of the church to staff themselves. Again, Captain America, Winter Soldier, a member of Hydra could be sitting right next to you and you wouldn't know it. The same thing. As far as I know, and as far as I can tell, that is the most that I'm able to determine from that. In regards to the neighborhood watch and shit like that, and the police, I don't think that that really correlates with them too much, other than the gang stalkers who go to church to target TIs who go to church. I remember at one point listening to Renata's old calls, how she said that she would go to church at one point in her life while she was targeted, and she says that it never missed a beat. In other words, it never failed. When the time came to shake people's hands in the church mass or what have you, there would be this one lady who would squeeze the living daylights out of her hand, like to hurt her and shit. You know what I mean? And she got a real shit. Yeah. Yo, ask her one day if you want, man. She'll tell you. Because, you know, the thing with Renata is that she's been through a lot of stuff, man. That lady's been through all types of shit. And still goes through it to this day, man. And she's still ticking. God bless her for it. Going back, man, you know, that 501c3 thing, that shit right there, man, that is just another way of the government being able to put a lasso around the church establishment and the people there that are on the assembly to be able to control what they say and just to make sure that they're on their side as opposed to against them. That's all that is. It's just another way of being able to, one hand washes the other type of situation. You want to put it in that sense. You had mentioned to me how it correlates with the community watch and the police. The only thing I can gather from there is the fact the gang stalkers that go to church are being directed more than likely by the police on the outside. In other words, they're orchestrating the gang stalking and the harassment remotely from outside somewhere, where they're probably even they don't have someone already there supervising, watching what you're doing, making sure you carry out what you're supposed to do in real time to report back. Then they may have some other method. I'm not sure. And that's how I feel that sort of stuff may be connected. The 501c3 may be even playing a role in that scenario where there's a percentage of money that may go into the pockets of the gang stalkers and the people who are involved in the assembly of the church, on the down low, of course, that are also getting paid behind that on some level or another, especially if there's a TI in the mix.
Well, I know I can share in this instance. Remember when I said I could never go to was brought up to my attention. I never put the two and two together. Well, I could never go to all the little meetings and all this and that. Not meetings, but, you know, like the little youth group things that they go from my church, like Great America, Six Flags, and all that kind of stuff. They said, oh, you know, listen, no, I think I was blackballed because I'm the person that doesn't actually listen. You know what I mean? And, like, as a kid, that's not good, you know? Because it'll destroy their plans later on, and they're probably training children to do this crap already. There's a video that talks about, I think it's a game stalking in Australia. He talks about one of his neighbors. He goes out to get a garbage can while he's about to drive out, right? And he said, his parents were game stalkers. He says, I've known this guy since he was a little kid. He was, like I said, few years more older than the guy, you know?
Hold on a second. Yeah. Are you still talking through your phone or are you using your earbuds?
I use my earpiece real quick. Oh, yeah, you want me to add so I guess it's
yeah, bro, because it sounds like hollow again. I don't know why that is, man.
No. Yeah, I was going to go to the store and get some food, you know, for lunch, because I got to stop. You know, that's one of those things they do. They want us to always eat out all the time. I can't afford that, you know what I mean? So I'm going to go get my lunch and be able to make my lunch every day. Right now, I want to be hands-free, so when I go shopping, I hate that shit. I mean, you know, it's taking up the whole fucking sidewalk, make me walk into a fucking tree. But the thing with the church groups, don't eliminate church members now, you know what I mean? Like, they don't play anymore. They don't play. They're building a new society. They're building a new, like, Eden, should I say. Or if you don't listen, you're kicked out of the Garden of Eden. To give you a better example, you know, because like that movie, you know, they're like, which side of the city going to shit? You've seen it go to shit and no one's doing anything about it. That's why they're doing it. And they'll take anybody else out in the process who gets in the way. Or excommunicate them to the point where they're hungry, they're on survival mode, they're on panic mode, which is, when you're in survival mode, you're always panicked all the time, right? You gotta fight for your next meal, next dollar. That's what they want me to do. So, and they get you to the point where, I mean, I already know I'm blackballed from getting any kind of good living situation out here, so I'd have to just save up money and just get out of here, you know. They want you living homeless. They don't want you thriving. Because we do, you can make too much of a good influence on people and make them turn, you know. All right. You hear that? Do you hear that, Archie? Hello? Hello? I think there's something messing with the mic or something. What happened? I don't know. I went to the store and the buzzer went off again. What buzzer? You know, I walked into the store and, like, you know how, like, the alarm thing, it went off when I walked through. I know that's on the record, though. Okay. Did it go off? Like, did it make noise and shit? Yeah, it made noise. It may have came out in the recording is what you're saying, right? Yep. We got that. I didn't feel nothing. There's no one around me asking questions. They already came up and asked me something.
They already know. But this brand. But yeah, I mean, I pretty much used to talk about like community and how they just blackball you, and they'll use the 501c3. You know, like they won't have the 501c3 if there's certain members, you know, who expose what government is doing or whatever. You know, they'll lose their status. Yeah, I only got one perk. Following good. Great, awesome. Let me ask you this: how do you think it factors into this whole thing with the organized stalking and things like that? The 501c3 specifically, and the police and the churches and whatnot, and the gang stalkers. How do you think it factors in? I mean, me personally, I think how it all relates is the simple fact that, you know, it's like, perfect example. I'm at the store. I'll give you an example. Go to the store, instead of paying full price, you're getting the club card price. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, you're getting free shit, gift cards, whatever. That's how they operate. That's what I get out of the 501c3. Because I mean, cops, they don't get paid a lot. They only get paid like $35,000 a year, $40,000. I mean, that's not a lot of money for a cop who's putting his life on the line. You know. So if he joins these little special interest groups, you know, he gets a cut of money, gets gift cards, he gets retribution in the community to you know, get the next position that he needs to succeed. You know what I'm saying? Captain, lieutenant, sergeant, whatever, whatnot. That's just how it is. I think that's just how the best way I could put it. Club cards. Club card price for them, you know what I mean? They're not paying taxes. Whatever they're doing in this club thing, and if they're paying taxes on their jobs, you know, they got their money back anyways. Joining the community thing. Yeah, it's weird. There ain't nobody in here in the store right now. How about you? How do you think it factors in?
Welcome, valued customer. 149. Place item in bag or account, then spam next item. If you have a chocolate.
How did the movie impact you in a positive way, and how did the movie impact you in a negative way? How it impacted me. How it impacted me positively was that there's still hope no matter what. You know. Yeah, I fight for it though. It's not in a sense like how they're going through, but you kind of get the picture that you still, what the heck, why is it? Yeah, I'm not. Give me a second real quick. Yeah, it impacted me positively, knowing that there's still hope, there's still people that are good people out there, you know what I mean? I'm not going to say these groups are good, because I think they're just trying to make a cover for it. You know what I mean? But I honestly think that there is people out there that will help you when they find out what this whole little interest group is all about. And how it negatively influenced me is like, damn, this is the reality. Like, this is the life they've given us that we have to, you know, fight every day. And realize that, like, you know, your Fourth Amendment is gone. Your First Amendment's gone. They're taking away the Second Amendment. Your Eighth Amendment is gone. You know, excessive bond and torture. They do this every day. How about you? Hold on, I wanted to ask you a couple of more with regards to the movie. So, the movie, in regards to what we were already said, because we already covered a lot of ground there, but I wanted to go in and officially get your point of view, your perception, in what you feel the black guy who was his friend for such a long time. What do you think his whole role was? Because at the end, it almost seemed like he didn't expect for shit to go as far as it did, but it did. And he just kind of like switched up at the end and kind of told the girl, which was his girlfriend, the guy's girlfriend, his best friend's girlfriend, oh, watch it, move down, duck, or whatever it was. And then the guy got shot, he got killed, or what have you. Well, I'm wondering, how did that impact you? Or how did it resonate with you in any way? And what do you think your thoughts are in regards to that being something that's definitely feasible, as far as somebody being in that deep and that long undercover? You know what I'm saying? I think that was one of the dudes that turned Simon on to him. Think about that. He was in it for 15 years. You know, they wanted, you know, I think Jimmy told Simon about, you know, Will's incident, and so what that entailed was, I think he wanted him to approach him like, hey, do you want vengeance? You know what I mean? I really think that was his whole thing, to like how do you want to say it? These people are sick, man.
What's up?
What's up? Looking for gift cards and shit? You guys should be a fucking shame of yourselves. This street theater bullshit. I don't give a fuck with these niggas. I'm sick of this shit. That made me snap. They didn't even go in the fucking store without buying shit. But these assholes do that. You see how they synchronize all that? I'm actually glad they did that. Capture that shit on audio and put it on. Yeah. You know, I'm in California and you're in New York, bro. What's to show you, man? This shit is all fucking connected on some level or another, man. These motherfuckers, my perps over here probably communicate with the perps over there, your perps. You know what I'm saying? Or it's kind of like a assembly line, you know what I mean? That's what I get out of it. But, you know, this shit doesn't stop. Sorry about that. Speaking of the gift cards, man, you had told me something a while back about reaching on top of the counters in the gas stations and shit like that. Right. Pumping gas and shit. And the other day I had gone on an errand with somebody, and they were driving. I got out the van, and I went over to the top of that, you know, I guess you could call it the gas container. And I swiped my hand over it, and I pulled out like 3 or 4 gift cards that were there. But they were all used up. And I was like, oh shit, you know what I mean? And I kind of laughed to myself, went back inside the van and whatnot. And I thought about what you said, man, and it's definitely true. They definitely do that shit, man. They do those stuff. Yeah. That's like I said from a forum, dude. I read that off of a forum. You know, they're like, next time, like, there's a bunch of people saying, like, they get gas cards and all that shit. And one of the people said on it, it goes, hey, next time you're ever at a gas station, you reach on top of the gas station, because you can't see what's up on top of there. But that's where they put it. The used ones or new ones. I mean, and you definitely get the money. You know, I told you. Yep. You got got a video where you're sitting somewhere and you're like kind of close to an overpass, and then diagonally across from you there's some fake crazy lady, and I say fake crazy because she's not crazy, but she was acting crazy. No, she wasn't crazy. And then you had a white, older, distinguished-looking man with a red shirt walk by you, and then he diagonally crossed the street to the other side by the overpass, and then you see him kind of like drop, and then like drop something or whatever, but then you couldn't see that clearly, but you could tell something like that, some motion like that, where that same fake, crazy black lady went over behind them, picked up the gift card, and kept it moving. I was like, wow.
Yeah, that's how so it's in plain sight, but disguised. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's how they do it. People are fucking crazy, man. I don't understand this shit. I don't want to understand it anymore, but I have no choice. I ain't got no choice but to.
Do you work tonight? No, right?
Yeah, I work tonight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got like 40 or 38 minutes for work starts.
Right.
Yeah. I just went and got some sandwich stuff. I'm gonna start like preparing, you know what I mean? I can't be eating out all the time. I save money.
Right.
You know, and that, and fellow TIs, I know you're getting depressed and everything, even for someone like me who don't learn this lesson sometimes, you know. I have this, but I mean, there's a lot more TIs that probably have better ways of dealing with their impulses, you know, at times. But this place, this program has beaten me down so much to the point, like I just say fuck it and don't even put any effort to make food or prepare. It gives them your cognitive skills, you know, planning. But if you can plan, you power to you, man, because I have a tough time doing that still. I kind of have always struggled with certain things like that, but back then it wasn't so bad. I could get a grip on it and buy a car, you know, I can go, you know, pay my bills and, you know, find places to rent. That was never hard, but there's this now when they put this program on you full blown, it's like at times you just don't care. Like you're like, all right, I'll do it tomorrow, or you'll procrastinate, or you won't climb through the hoops that they make you do to get residency or a vehicle or something like that, or paying your bills on time. Yeah, they're getting you away, man. But just if you have those skills to plan, more power to you, because like I struggle with that. So yeah, you hear that?
No doubt.
You heard her?
No, I didn't hear it. What was that?
There was a cough in the background. No, I didn't hear it. Yeah.
Fuck that bitch. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Check this out. This is what it is, man. You know, in regards to what you've been going through and how you going through it now and everything else, and you're still keeping your wits about yourself, always remember that about yourself, man. That you've come a long way. And you haven't been broken completely. You know what I'm saying? And I doubt that they will be able to break you completely at this point, because you know enough to get you by. In other words, you know what they're doing, you know how they're going about it, you maintain a certain line of discipline and a certain mentality that you have to kind of undertake, because without it, you won't be able to survive through this shit. So I don't knock you for saying what you're saying at times, cussing at these people or telling them to go get a life or they should be ashamed of themselves. Shit, man. I would be saying a whole lot of other worse things with a lot of more colorful words in them, man. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I know.
If you feel like you need to do that as much as you can. I'm telling you, man, because when you harbor that type of anger in, it turns into cancer, from what I understand. So I rather they feel it at that moment and I release it out of me. Fuck that. You know what I mean? These motherfuckers already do enough damage to us as it is. You know, let's not give them that much more. You know what I mean? Yep, there's a guy in a yellow shirt. He's about like 6'4", big dude. You know, I didn't give a fuck. I'm sick of these people. They're big bullies. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was wearing yellow. He was wearing yellow.
Yep. Yellow theme. They had people wearing caution. You know? Right. They had the people over here with the yellow theme too on me, man. You know what I mean? So it's an ongoing thing. It's like they target you, they target Nigel, they target me. I think pretty much alongside one another, back to back type shit. Like when they do to Nigel, they'll do it to me, then they'll do it to you. Like kind of like a revolving thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like they take shifts, and you know what's gonna happen. I mean, like if I'm on the phone with you, something happens over here, it's gonna happen over there. You know what I mean? And you're not gonna lose. It's like it's crazy, dude. I mean, you saw that. I mean, not saw. Did you hear that synchronization? Yeah, that's crazy, bro. Yeah. After I was like, well, it was like I was getting out the store, right? And I like through the whole thing. They put the baby carriage right near me, right? And I'm in line, and like people crowding around me, and they're all looking at me. And I'm on the phone, but I'm like not talking loud enough they can hear, but they're trying too hard. They followed me into the store. You know, not the yellow shirt. They were still on the corner. They're the handlers, you know. But they put the baby carriage near me. I'm like, all right, I see what you're doing right here. You know, you're using that as a prop. Then all of a sudden, when I walk by, someone in a wheelchair comes in, and then someone in an SUV with blacked out lights was right there. And then across the street, they're still there on the corner, and he looks at me like all pissed off, and he grabs his nose. I'm like, hey, you're sick, man. Like, I'm just letting you know that, you know? And right after that, boom, your sirens were going off the hook. That was more than, like, what they do over here. I'm trying to tell you, man. Bro, it was, like, off the hook. Like, it felt like you had a caravan. You know, you motherfuckers are crazy, bro. You know what it is? They're like kids. They're like children, man, because if they can't get their way, right? If they get upset and they're mad at what we're saying, what we're talking about, they don't want us talking about, they'll revert to that shit, to that siren shit. Like that's supposed to scare me or some shit, or stop me in my tracks or some shit. The most it's going to do is disrupt the moment and delay us from continuing the conversation at that moment. Yeah, but that's why I said that. That's the most that they're going to get out of it. Yeah. It's not going to scare me into stopping or stopping me from speaking and exposing or staying silent or anything like that. Hell no. I'm going to the end, bro. I mean, they took in everything from me 3 times. I've been homeless 5 times. This is crazy, bro. Like, what the fuck else am I going to do? I know people who live in nice little rich houses. If they even lived where I live, their skin will crawl and they'll put a bullet in their head or be doing that, acting crazy on the beach. I've seen dead bodies too. Like they synchronize murders around you and suicides. Crazy, man. I remember them told me that shit, man, at the library. That was nuts, man. Yeah, man. They did that. What was it that happened? If you don't mind me asking, I know you already put on the record. So. Yeah. I just get to, library, because it's where I go where I, charge my phone up sometimes, and watch a movie on my day off if I was there, because I got Netflix and, all that stuff. I'm not even there for like 15, 20 minutes. All of a sudden I hear just a loud cow, like it bounced. Like he bounced. I thought it was a shotgun going off, you know what I mean? And I'm getting people away from the handrails and old people. I'm like, yo, get away. You don't know where he's at, It's just stupid to be looking over the handrails. You need to get near a wall and the exit, you know what I'm saying? Get ducked for cover. And then someone points down on the ground, on the rafters and says, hey, there goes there's a dead body right there. I'm like, oh, shit. I think they were pissing him off to the point where he went nutty and he fell down off the computer chair and killed himself. My thing was,
what pisses me off is there was a bunch of people that were around his computer table. Why the fuck did they not stop him? You know what I mean?
That's a great fucking
Me, what I got out of it was they were just thinking to themselves, oh, it's just another homeless person. And you know what was even more disturbing? There was families there, moms, these soccer mom type people, sadistic, psychopath looking, once they show their true colors, pointing down where the dead body is, showing the kids, whispering in their ears, like, there he is, right there. Wow.
I don't remember that.
Huh?
I don't remember you telling me that.
Yeah, I thought I mentioned that. Yeah, that was real shit. That wasn't the only parents either. They're desensitizing them at a young age. You know what? I'm gonna recall back to what Jesus says. Anyone who makes one of these young ones stumble, it would be better to put a stone and a rope around his neck and sink himself in the bottom of the ocean. Better for them to kill themselves, is what I'm saying. These gang stalkers deserve to die.
I hear that.
I ain't gonna do it.
That, man.
I'm not for it nor against it, but they can do it themselves if they want to. They ain't part of my life. They're trying to be part of my life, and I ain't having it. But yeah, that was the most disturbing thing I've seen. These soccer moms, blonde hair, nice stuff on. You know those goofy soccer mom type people who like dress their kids all goofy and everything. You know, they got money. You know, shirt tucked in and everything. You know, and they're whispering in the ear, pointing like, "Hey, there he is." That's some sick shit, man. It is. You know, like they didn't even know that much. I didn't know the details of that until right now. That kind of like, I mean, I thought I said it on a private call with you before, but yeah, they were pointing at it, like, that was disturbing. Like, kids were around and everything pointing at, with the parents pointing at it.
The next generation of fucking gang stalkers, ain't that a bitch?
Bro, there's gonna be blood in the streets, man. I ain't looking for that. And we're on the verge of war. This is not good. It's only gonna trigger more aggression, and it's not gonna make them scared. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I got my ass whooped by my parents, my grandma, my aunt, and my neighbors who, you know, babysit me. You know what I mean? They had full range. Dude, that's how it was back then. These kids aren't even being, you know, witnessing any like holy fear from the authority. They're making them equal with them. They're being treated like the next generation of gods, ruling over. You know what I mean? Insane, that. I mean, what is
the definition of insanity?
Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results.
Exactly. That's deep. That's what these motherfuckers do to us on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
They do the same things over and over and over again, expecting a different result. Yet, we remain strong and firm and adamant in our rebellion.
Right. It's like what you said. Remember how when these rich people and these upper class people, when they've exhausted every human thing they've done the Disneyland, they've done the expensive cocktail parties, they've gotten their medals in the city, you know. They want to push the envelope. They want to start controlling people, treating them like pets, animals, the ones who don't listen, you know, and want to do their own thing according against society's agenda, a secret agenda. They start doing this shit, you know, and they keep it going, you know, because they already got all the rewards. They already got all this and that. They went to Egypt. They went to go visit. You know, we're going to just do this as just expensive pleasure. It's dark ecstasy, man.
That's the term. thank Alda Misteriosa, Alda Misteriosa, one from Monterey, California, another female TI. She taught me that. She shared that information with me. I appreciate that. Shout out to Alda, wherever you are. Hopefully you're having a decent new year and you're feeling better. You know, I'm going to say this too, man, to add on to the record. You know, it's interesting to see and hear how you have a society that uses their children as props and as obstacles to put in our way to try to set us up in some weird, maybe pedophilia type of scenario. And if not that, then they do that to use them to target us in some way. So if we look like in public we're going to snap at the child because they keep doing something to us that we know is not, that shouldn't be done. Let me tell y'all something, man, in regards to the people who may be listening to this call upon playback. I'm not the type to do stuff like that, like snap at children and things like that, even though they're behaving bad, unless they're my children, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's different, you know what I mean? I don't do stuff like that. What I usually do is I go and I speak to the parents. I look and I spot the parents of these children. And I've done that before. And I've gotten in a scenario while I was with my moms in a park where I reside. And we were having ourselves a regular summer's day. And I already know going out there that I'm going to be targeted. Wherever I go, it doesn't matter. It's going to happen, right? So you're going to be covertly surveyed. I have people doing stupid shit periodically while you're there to try to spoil your quality of life. So you don't want to go out. So you don't want to go and enjoy the day. Well, I was like, nah, fuck them. Fuck that. I'm doing that shit. And I did, right? So I'm out there with my moms. I'm trying to get her, you know, to get some sun and some air and things of that nature. So I might as well at that time. And you got this father with his 2 children, boy and a girl. They came like maybe 45 minutes into us already being in the park after the fact. And they set up diagonally across from my line of vision as I was facing the opposite direction. And I noticed how he passed both the boy and the girl, one ball to the boy and a frisbee to the girl. And I was like, that shit don't even make no sense. Like, why would you pass the ball and a frisbee separately to each child? What is she supposed to do? Play with the frisbee by herself while the boy just throws the ball up and down and things like that? You know what I mean? So I was just like, oh, whatever, you know. I was thinking to myself, I'm looking too deep into shit right now. Let me focus on what I'm really here for, which is to enjoy myself and my mom to enjoy herself and enjoy the day, right? So I tried to give the benefit of the doubt to the situation that, you know, well, they're over there, we're over here, you know, nothing's going to happen. Yeah, okay. Lo and behold, you know, the children start getting closer and closer to where we were at. Eventually, it got to the point where the little boy stopped playing with the ball, dropped the ball, and started just playing with the frisbee with his sister. I'm assuming that was his sister. And they were throwing the frisbee back and forth. It got to the point where I saw that it was starting to land mostly in the direction of our path. In fact, like right behind my mother. And I was like, okay, here we go. Here's the bullshit. And then they're using the children to do this. Because I'm pretty sure that those children were coached beforehand and instructed by their father, more than likely, to do that shit. Anyway, the scenario continues to unfold where the children continue to throw the frisbee closer and closer, almost hitting my mother in the head with the frisbee. So I have, of course, had to get up and I threw the frisbee back at them, but I didn't throw it like hard enough. I just kind of like threw it back to them, like playing with them, you know, and they caught it, whatever, and said thank you out loud. And yeah, I was like, went straight to their father. I go over and I say, how you doing? Need to ask you a favor if it's possible, you know. Me and my mom, we're just here, you know, trying to enjoy the day and whatnot. You know, I don't mean to be out of order or anything. You know, I just figured I'd talk to you. I'm not going to snap at, you know, children. They're just children, you know. So I figured let me talk to the parent. And here I am, you know, can you do me a favor and ask your children if they could move a little more to that side and play, due to the fact that they continuously have the frisbee, like landing on that side, and I don't want it to hit my mother. It almost hit my mother a little while ago. This guy comes out and he says, my children can play wherever the hell they want. This is America. They can go and play wherever the hell they want. And I looked at him and I said, okay. And I was pissed. And I turned around and I walked back to where my mother was. Now, I was pissed and all because I tried to be a gentleman about the situation. I did everything that I felt was the correct way to go about it as far as chain of command, you know, go to the father, go to the mother, no, you know what I mean, that sort of thing. And as y'all can hear, it didn't matter because the guy was a prick and the guy was probably a narcissist as well. And because usually these gang stalkers are narcissists. It comes with the territory. It's like hand in hand and shit. But anyway, I figured I did the right thing by doing it the way I did to try to get some sort of civil, you know, reaction to it. And what I got was a whole bunch of attitude talking about, you know, this is America and, you know, these children can go and play wherever they want and shit, the park, or what have you. And, of course, I had to eat that, and I was upset about it. I didn't want to lose it in front of my mom, so that's one thing that helped the scenario. I think if I would have been by myself, even though his children were there, I probably would have flipped on him a little bit. You know what I mean? But my mom was there, so that wasn't going to happen. And because I didn't want to hear my mom getting on my case after that. So, you know what I mean? I just kind of like brushed it off. Fast forward to the time I guess they got to leave, where they were already, I guess, tired of doing their thing, quote unquote. They were leaving the park, and in one of those, the father was playing with the son with the frisbee, and he kind of threw it a little too hard. And I could tell he did it purposely because as he was passing by the direction of line of vision where I was in, that's where he kind of launched it a little bit too hard purposely, and the kid could not have caught that as short as he was. So he was aiming towards our direction again. And it landed up in front of me. I took the frisbee at that point, and I launched it completely to the opposite side of where they were going. And he said, what the fuck are you doing? And I was like, hey, it's America, right? And he was pissed. And that was my way of getting even with that particular gangster. His children were even laughing. You know what I mean? So I guess that made him even more angry. The thing is that I did that at that point because I needed to release the anger that I had already festered up against this piece of shit on Subway. You know what I mean? And I did it. And I did it in the most, I guess you could call it the less of the two evils and whatnot. It wasn't something violent, and it wasn't something that was degrading, like berating him in front of his children by cussing him and breaking him down. You know what I'm saying? Which I could have done, but I didn't do that. I chose that instead, you know. So that's how that turned out. But what I'm saying is, man, when you see society going to hell the way it is in that way, like with these gang stalkers and their children, and using them as props and using them as shields and hiding behind them, that shit right there, man, I wasn't prepared to understand that this shit even existed once I started seeing these children doing all this stuff. You know, I was like, damn, man, that's sad, man. That really bothered me in the beginning. Like, that got to me. You know, anyone would ask me, yo, what was one of the worst things that, you know, psychologically got to you in the beginning? You know, there were several things, you know what I mean? There were several things, but one of them that stand out to me was seeing the children participating in this stuff, man. I couldn't believe it. You know, it's like it's a damn shame, man. You know? But anyway, that's that in regards to that story, man. Raw, what is it that I recall with you? There was something that you were showing, man, in one of your videos. You were hanging out somewhere, probably just like trying to relax a little bit, sitting down on a bench, and then you had, I guess, a mother or a father, either or, pop up with a child directly across from you, directly from your line of vision, and you're like, you see, this is how they use their children to try to set up, like, their little pedophile skits or what have you. I think that's what you're
yeah, I remember that. He came out of nowhere. He was already, like, receiving, orders from someone that was, like, across the way. You can see through the door. I can't see through the door, but he came out, and he was trying to set up that scenario, it was dude, he was just sick in the head. I was like, why would you put your kids through that danger, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, they had to hover around me. There's a whole big old park. You see how big that park is. Why are you gonna, like, there's sticks that are sticking out of the ground. He could fall in and hurt himself. I don't understand why they had to play around me, but that's just what they do to arouse fear. And at the same time, let them know that, hey, this is my territory. I can be here, and you can't. You're homeless. They already know, because they already have a file set up from you. He's homeless, and this and that. They don't like homeless people in this place, But how I dealt with it, I let him know. I think when I shut the camera off, I said, "Hey, man, you gotta be careful, man. That's dangerous. You're putting kids in this. What are you talking about? Some shit." These people they do anything, man. And it really comes back to that seeking justice movie. They think they're making society good, do-gooders, to protect their city from going to crap because of homeless people and the drugs and, the gang warfare. But in all honesty, they're making it worse because it's stirring the shit pot, They're creating psychological warfare. They think that they're done. Working class people, and one day that they're going to rise. They don't think we're going to do anything because they think we're outnumbered. They think it's more bigger than it is,
Go raw.
Yeah.
You mind repeating
that again?
Because
they did something right now. Okay. And it's echoing too. They're in it right now on my phone. But what I'm saying is something about a key point. I hit a key point that they didn't like, so they shut it off. They hit the call off. But what I'm saying is, they think that they're protecting their city, but they're not, by doing this stuff to keep people in check. The working class, the middle class, people who are lower than them, the gang members. But in actuality, it made it worse. It turned on them. Matter of fact, it's going to get to a point where people are going to go crazy and revolt. It's going to be mass murder in the streets. They don't care who's watching. One day there will be a revolution. That's why we're here right now, to let people know we're doing it peacefully. We're giving them time to let them know, hey, like, turn away from your ways, because I know that a lot of them aren't, but then there's going to be a handful that do and stand up, and it's making society worse by them continuing this. It's causing psychological warfare. It's stirring the shit pot, and they think it's going to keep everyone in check, but it's not. It's making people worse. There's good people out there who could be living private lives, being artists, and making good people, or people who are homeless, people who are nothing, into something. Instead they're being greedy and making money for themselves and so on and so forth. So what's your take on that? My take on that, because I know that you're probably already at work and you got 8 minutes in there to go. So I don't want to take too much of your time. I know you got to go soon, but I'm going to just close and conclude my thoughts along with the call with this particular quotation that I believe John F. Kennedy had stated, and I'm going to paraphrase it. Something in regards to people who make, trying to remember exactly how it goes. Pardon me, I'm on the spot right now, but I'm trying to remember. It has to do with people who make peaceful revolution impossible, make violent revolution inevitable. Woo, so that right there pretty much says it all without me having to go any deeper than that. Bro, I appreciate your time, bro. You definitely put in your valid input on this call in regards to that movie. I put you up on that movie because I figured that once you were ready to watch it and understand it, you would completely come back with the best review in regards of the breakdown of how that movie reflected and resonated with you in regards to this program. You know what I mean?
Thanks for having me on.
No doubt, man. Always, you're a member of the squad officially. You already know. And keep in mind, tomorrow I have the live stream ability back again. So we're going to be live tomorrow, which means that we're going to come back and get some of the viewers that we possibly lost 3 months ago. You know what I mean? And hopefully gain some new ones in the process.
Right.
Tomorrow will be, you already know the topic. I'm going to be sending you some stuff that I would like for you, if you don't mind, to read tomorrow, man. It's definitely going to be a powerful call, very informative call, a very educating call. And, you know, we're going to continue doing what we've been determined and blessed and, you know, born to do in my eyes, man. No turning back now. Nothing but forward, bro. That's where we're going. Nothing but forward.
All right. Yeah, thanks for the call. Thanks for having me on, like always. Yeah, thanks for, you know, redoing the call so we can, you know, get people to understand what's going on, you know, and how it get to a point where there's some points where people are actually going through it like this with the violence included in it. Look at Bill Cooper, if you know Bill Cooper.
Oh yeah, man. You know, behold the pale horse. He was a former naval intelligence in crypto. That guy was no joke, man. You know what I mean? They killed him. Yeah. They killed him in his fucking home, his own house. You know, the sheriff. And how did they roll him out? With a couple of gang stalkers who rolled up in front of his home with loud music, doing a noise campaign. And he went out there, told them to turn it down with a shotgun. That was his fucking home. That was his land right there. That part where they were at, they were intervening. You know, they were, what do you call that, intruding in his area, in his land. It's part of his land right there. So he had every right.
Invading his Fourth Amendment right, which is legal search and seizure and right to privacy.
Correct.
So, you know, yeah, they were already torturing him, so that goes against the Eighth Amendment, excessive bonds and extensive torture. There's more of these amendments I want to learn, but these 10 Bill of Rights, I mean, they could still hold dear to, you know, our country still. We just gotta, like, you know, be the ones that show it and advertise it, you know. But no one else is doing it. As far as I know, it's just a piece of paper that people thought at one time existed. We went from a full-blown republic with civil liberties to a democracy where it's almost bureaucracy. You know, so I still want this country to operate the same way it was with civil liberties, you know, and keep refining it to make a better society for every man to be equal, you know. I mean, it wasn't perfect, of course, that's life. No one's going to be perfect. These humans weren't perfect, but there was great people throughout the ages of this great country who made it good. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, John Lennon, you know, our fellow celebrities who passed and fought for our civil rights. You know, there's many, many more. Harriet Tubman. You know, I mean, I can't think of a lot of rest of them off my head. The founding fathers who were trying to make things equal. You know, yeah, they weren't perfect, but they gave us the ideology to make a better society. You know, and to make it better for every man, white, black, fat, whatever religious present, as long as it didn't inflict violence, trauma, fear, but it pursued the right of happiness.
Exactly. And somewhere within that clause, and not that particular creed, but something else, there is something that states clearly, without cruel and unusual punishment. Yeah. This is definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, the embodiment, the epitome of cruel and unusual punishment, if you were to ask me. Psychological operations.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that with us. At the end of the call, this is good conclusion. I have to get going to work. Thanks for having me on the call, like always. We'll touch base tomorrow and do a follow-up. All right, you guys have a good night, all right?
No doubt. You already know, man. Tomorrow we'll pick up where we left off. Live stream ability is on, and you already know what time it is, man. Have a good night at work. Stay strong, and I hope you get your rest, man, after you get off of work. Stay cool, brother.
All right. Have a good night. Peace.
Peace. All right, y'all. As you already heard, we're going to shut it down for now. This has been a great call. Just me and Raw True 7. Pretty much breaking down the Seeking Justice movie, how it resonated with him, how it resonated with me. Things that were found in similarity with this program and things of that nature. And we also veered off into other topics, you know, that involved the targeted individuals that were that are, and some of them that were in the music industry and the entertainment industry, period. Also, we had moments where our own targeting was being played upon, you know, in the call, you see, as we were speaking, so y'all can hear for yourselves that we go through this shit on the regular, you know what I'm saying? No matter what, we go through this bullshit. But it doesn't matter, because it's not going to stop us from continuing to move forward as we've been doing. And as I said, keep and stay tuned for the next following weekends coming up this year, because I got my live streaming ability back finally from YouTube. I guess YouTube must have, I don't know. I honestly, I'm just glad I got it back. I'm going to try to keep it instead of trying to be like, you know, okay, I got it, now I'm going to go crazy with it. No, I'm going to take it easy. I'm going to make sure I don't make any mistakes like that, like I did before with the videos, movie clips, and things of that nature. That won't ever happen again. Because you do have to respect and follow guidelines and stuff like that, the copyright strikes and things of that nature. So that won't be happening again. So thank you again, YouTube, for allowing me to get my live streaming ability again. And we'll be going forward from here on in, and more great shows to come on. Guaranteed. All right, y'all, this is RTTI in New York City. Signing out.